Welcome back, YouTubers, to another WWE Smackdown review with none other than us, the not the primetime players. We are the better tag team, the British Fist. It's just a shame we don't have Abraham Washington, but there we go. I'm Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me, as you all know, he needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. It's none other than the Right Honourable NJ. What's up? We really need to get you a campaign to get you a lordship or something, because you need one, NJ. Subscribe or above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on this edition of Smackdown down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
Indeed do, and that's the first Smackdown after No Way Out going into Money in the Bank. It was quite funny that John Laurinaitis is now fired, and the first thing they opened with was the old GM, but it's kind of like, man, this brings back memories, doesn't it? Holla, 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 player with Teddy Long saying that Johnny Ace has been fired, baby.
And what a crowd we actually got. As soon as he mentioned fired, the crowd loved it. Teddy Long's back in his place, but he mentions the fact that he's only here just to make the crowd go wild. But we're going to have Mick Foley still hovering around for this show. It
was kind of like old memories, wasn't it? Teddy Long opened the show, you expected the tag match main event, but we didn't get one because instead we were interrupted by the Big Show. Not the Big Show, the real Big Show. And he talks about how he's going to be moving on to the Money in the Bank ladder match. And just a quick question while we're here. They're going to have a Raw and SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. Is that really essential now that the brand split is essentially done? Like, people can be on Raw and SmackDown. Is that really essential?
Like, there's rumours saying there's going to be one, and I was quite satisfied with that. I was thinking that would have been good. Yes, it's a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and you want as much match you can. But if you just had the one, there's a chance for there to be miniature matches surrounding it. But if there's going to be two, I think it's a way to give Raw wrestlers some kind of importance and SmackDown, but I just think it'd be much better if there was just the one.
Big Show and Money in the Bank, are they going to have that massive ladder, do you think? Do you reckon they'll just make it break the normal one?
At least, the thing is, I see Big Show as a character who should be in a feud on his own instead of in Money in the Bank, because number one, he's been the World Heavyweight Champion. He's been against the World WWE Champion. The thing about him now, he should not be in a match that's meant to bring up new stars.
After this big show little speech, we got the what I thought was an interesting addition to this segment. We got the Funkasaurus coming out in the opener of SmackDown. Something different in the opener. Thank you, WWE, for giving us something different.
Well, with us saying that the Funkasaurus needs something bigger in his career now because he's been in feuds, dropped out of feuds, filler, nothing really going for him. He actually needs something more. And even though we've complained about the Big Show in the past, he is actually doing something good for the Funkasaurus. Yes, there may not be a long-term feud here, but as you see tonight on SmackDown, it's given him some kind of meaning and some kind of proper strong direction.
Exactly, because there is some purpose to him being on the show other than dancing. And he gets into the ring with Big Show. They have a little face-off. It was nice. It was a nice little face-off between two because we never really got it in that Raw main event. So it's nice to see that. You get Otunga coming in and hitting Brodus Clay on the knee. And as much as I don't care about Otunga, I'm finally glad that they've given Brodus Clay a purpose on the show, whether it is to feud with the Big Show, whether it is to feud with David Otunga. It gives him some purpose, and we needed to see this from WWE in booking Brodus Clay in a feud.
And that's the thing, because with me, quite happily, I would have been fine with Brodus Clay and Big Show. That was going fine. Strong wrestler, big wrestler, face, heel, very nicely done. Otunga, yes, it follows on from a filler match they had, and now they just seem to be making a feud from it. But I just don't think it was pretty much needed, not really.
Who's better at dancing, David Otunga or Brodus Clay? Or Mr. Parkin? Or NJ?
This is just silly because the fact that they're using Brodus Clay to get other people dancing. It's not just Otunga. They had others in the past. They're using him with Rikishi. He invited people to dance with him, but with this, they're just making fun of Brodus Clay. But overall, I just thought, oh my gosh, what the hell are they doing with Otunga dancing?
By the way, I was going to say you were a better dancer, but you kind of ruined my flow. But there we go. My only issue with this segment was, did they not last week just say they were putting Brodus Clay on SmackDown to keep him away from Big Show? Or was that just something Johnny Ace did?
Johnny Ace thing. I think it was just to protect Big Show. Now it all came to an end. They can actually do something that's more directional.
Yay! Direction for a young star. Woohoo! More direction for a young star next in the form of Ryback versus two more local jobbers in a typical Ryback squash match. And as much as I do think the Ryback character will go far, we do need to see something different. WWE, come on. At least feed him 3 guys. Just saying.
What I was hoping for is when he's done that thing, feed me more, especially, I know it's going up to Money in the Bank, so it's not really much, but if someone actually came out, got attacked from behind, set a match for Money in the Bank. Yes, it's a small pay-per-view, but at least it would be something unexpected, because we'll be expecting just another boring Ryback match, but sadly it didn't happen tonight, but I'm just thinking nothing's really going anywhere.
Next week is going to be awesome. Do you know why, MJ? No, you don't know why. Because Vicky Guerrero is going to be the interim Raw and SmackDown GM next week, so we're going to be hearing a lot of the term, excuse me.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Mick Foley was saying, how great this is going to be. He's looking forward to it, praising it, think it's going to be great for the WWE, and I'm going to say this, I agree.
Yeah, it should be fantastic seeing Vicky Guerrero bracing our screens. In the next segment, we had a kind of random, out of the blue, Christian versus Del Rio match. You know, I would have thought that they would have wanted to give this a little bit of hype or something because they've got previous history. Remember when they had those matches, you know, kind of close to WrestleMania and Extreme Rules in 2011 when Del Rio had some steam? So it makes sense to see how much steam Del Rio has lost since his initial, what I thought was an over-push.
That's the thing, because with Del Rio, yes, there may not be many people who like him for many reasons. His mic skills are not great, his WWE build's not been great, but he was pushed as a main eventer. But the thing I like about this match straight away is that now Del Rio is not given the main event feeling or the push anymore. He does need another direction. And if he's going to go up against mid-carders now, as a strong heel mid-carder, I have no problem with that.
No, I mean, I don't think he's good enough for the main event, but in the mid-card, he could be pretty good. It's really interesting to see here. Is Del Rio still the #1 contender, or are they going to put him in some other feud? I don't think they're going to put him in an IC title feud or anything, but is he still the #1 contender or not? They kind of touched on it, but didn't really explain it properly.
Well, with this, again, they have Del Rio advertising Money in the Bank, so maybe I'll swerve someone, make him have his rematch at Money in the Bank, unless it's going to be the Money in the Bank himself. But I do think Del Rio should maybe get his rematch and then continue back to the mid-card, or just forget about the #1 contendership and just concentrate on what he's doing now.
I feel the same way. Del Rio was over-pushed, and now he's better in the mid-card, in my opinion, now, but there we go. The match itself was pretty good. It went about 8 minutes. My only problem with it was that they ended it clean. I mean, they had Cody Rhodes attacking Christian afterwards, which was really good, but why couldn't they have had Cody Rhodes come in and make the match unclean so you didn't make Christian look too weak in this match?
Well, I'm going to say this, though, giving the win to Del Rio, I'm expecting there to be something more to it, because obviously he's the advertisement for Money in the Bank, and he got a win over Christian, so I'm expecting there to be something in the future, but just no hint of what it could be yet. And with Cody Rhodes, I'm for and against it. For it, because obviously it added interest and probably pushing the feud up for another pay-per-view, but at the same time, the fact he lost his rematch, I was thinking, right, he's done that now, he needs to push to the main event, to Money in the Bank, so for him to come out and attack Christian is like, are they really going to have him stay in here for another month or two?
I really thought they were going to end this feud and maybe push him to win the Money in the Bank or something, but it looks like they're going to continue. Whether or not they're both going to be involved in Money in the Bank, who really knows, but really they're going to need some other matches to fill the card. So, I mean, it was a good segment. I just didn't feel the match should have ended clean. That was my only real issue with this segment, really. We get onto our main event. Kane versus Daniel Bryan with the special guest timekeeper, Mr. Parkin's favourite female, none other than AJ Lee, NJ. She was rocking that bell, wasn't she?
Yeah, just what we need. She's got so much involvement with the Bryan and Punk thing. Now she's getting this whole Kane thing. I don't know how she persuaded her to be this timekeeper.
Mick Foley.
But maybe so. But the match itself, I thought this was a good match. But obviously, we're not really sure what direction Kane's going in. We don't know really what way Bryan's going or Punk. So for them to keep continuing possibly this three-way feud or whatever they're doing is the only thing they're giving us at the minute.
Hell, maybe Mick Foley digs crazy chicks, who really knows? But they're still fighting the grain with Daniel Bryan. They're pumping loads of crowd noise in on Smackdown now, and they're still fighting the grain. They're going to have to turn the guy face soon, really. And you know what the best thing was about this match, Andrew? Remember I quipped to you just this during the show? A heel had to win, and in an era where faces generally win, it was nice to see a heel get a victory. 100% certain!
Well, as much as we say that, Daniel Bryan is a face. I don't care what people say. Yeah, he was the face in this match. He's trying to get heel heat, but he's the face of this match. So yes, a heel did win.
Yes, so we get this segment, we get this little ending sequence where AJ rings the bell. Kane didn't tap, of course, because AJ rang the bell. Kane wins, and then AJ just continues to have this power over these two, and it was a different way to end the match. It was kind of good.
Even with that match, I still get the feeling that Kane's being used, and she's probably finding a way to wiggle back with Daniel Bryan. And if that happens to be the case, WWE, shoot yourselves, please. But I'll just say this: the win that Kane got, yes, it weren't in a really dominant way because obviously it got turned around because of AJ's involvement, but Kane still won, so yes!
You got to wonder what they're going to do with the WWE Championship. Are they going to have another triple threat? Are they going to move Kane in that position? What are they going to do with CM Punk now? We've got to really think about it. Hopefully we'll get some answers on Raw. Right, in our next segment, we have Mick Foley coming out doing his cheat box here in YouTube land, and out comes Heath Slater to lead a protest. What, against being a ginger, talentless dickhead? Do you have anything to say about this segment?
I'm going to say about this. Mick Foley coming out getting another segment. There weren't really much purpose to it. Bringing out Slater, you mentioned what happened on Raw, but obviously nothing much happened to that. And I really thought this was a horrible segment. Not the greatest thing to have, but it came and went. That's what I'll say. It
was literally, in my opinion, there to give the Long Island fans something they didn't get on Raw, which was a Zack Ryder match. So I guess they're trying to pander to the fans there. That's really all this segment was for. They had a backstage segment as well afterwards between Ryder and Sandow. Now, do you think they're going to start off a feud between these two? Because I think that could be a good idea. At least you're going to give Sandow a feud, or probably not. I'm just putting it out there.
With Sandow there, I think I look at this and think he does need a feud eventually, but he's still early. So if he continues having these random matches, I'll be fine with it. But eventually, just need a feud. Zack Ryder going back on TV. I think the WWE don't really care about him. So if the feud does happen, yeah, whatever. But I think Sandow deserves better.
Yeah, maybe, but it'll be a nice little sort of low card feud to put him in for the time being. Primetime Players versus the Usos. Now, is it me, MJ, or is it? They're so much better with Abraham Washington, aren't they? This tag team. I care about them a lot more now. They've got Abraham Washington in their corner now.
Well, with their horrible booking, which I'm not going to forgive them for, or the WWE, having them with Abraham Washington gives them a strong person in their tag team.
Yes.
That's going to give them direction. And this match, obviously, the aftermatch, obviously shows how great Washington's going to be for them.
And Washington is a fantastic talker, which is why this tag team does need a talker, because I'm not sure Young or Titus are that good on the mic. So Abraham Washington is really making that tag team good. They are the number one contenders now. I couldn't help but notice that the crowd didn't really care about this match as much as I liked the Primetime Players tag team. There wasn't really much crowd reaction in this one. I mean, the match only got 3 minutes. It was your typical Smackdown, let's put some tag teams there, squash match with the Usos. Abraham Washington gives, with the distraction, gives the Primetime Players the victory. And then they have that little brawl backstage, like you mentioned, between Epico and Primo and the Primetime Players. And you're kind of thinking to yourself, are they doing a tag team feud?
For that, I still see it heel versus heel, but we're getting something that's directional, especially for the Primetime Players who need something now because they're still new and need better booking. So why not go against ex-tag champs to get them out there? So very nicely done.
And you've got to think that they're probably just going to be filler, really, for the Primetime Players until they actually win those belts. Because I do think the Primetime Players with Abraham Washington will pretty much have to win those belts, in my opinion, especially if R-Truth's broken foot.
Yeah, and they're going to get all the millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. I love that fucking gimmick, man.
But what I would love to see, more than anything, the Primetime Players versus... It's all about the money.
Oh, the Primetime Players versus Crime Time! Money, money, yeah. Money, yeah. What a fucking tag team feud that would be. Bring back Crime Time to make them face Primetime Players. We're going to campaign for that one, MJ. That was a good one. Yeah, good ideas. You could be a GM, you know. He's always fancied being an Eric Bischoff, but there we go. In our next segment, it was interesting to say the least, we had Santino Marella, the US champion, by the way, not in a feud, but picking out crowd signs, and there was an I Love Santino sign, and a girl comes out from the crowd, and her and Santino kiss, and their little cobras have a little peck on the cheek as well.
And this, again, it was filler, but it got people laughing. Santino bringing out the crowd signs. He makes fun of like Big Show, John Cena. He actually gets it entertaining. This thing was filler, but the kissing thing, Gosh, she's a stud, you know. Women love him everywhere.
She has a lot of lipstick on her, didn't she?
Oh, yes.
Santino was a bit bedazzled by the big black girl, but there we go. And into our main event of the evening. Oh, God. In a No Way Out rematch, it was Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, how many times have we seen this? How many times does WWE need to trot this match out there? It's kind of getting... How many times have we seen this? 3 or 4 times, including at No Way Out, and Ziggler hasn't won 1. So, I don't see the interest in this match for me. I've seen it too many times.
That's a bit like Bryan and Punk. They seem to using what matches... Put on great matches, because Punk, Bryan, yes. Ziggler and Sheamus do put on good matches. So I think they're just doing that because they know they actually put on great matches, so they can expect a good main event from them. But repeating the same matches can be seen boring. But I think they do just see it as good 2 wrestlers against each other match.
You know, it's like AJ and Daniels. Eventually it gets boring despite the fact they put on great matches. Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards, a classic example from Ring of Honor. They just get boring after 3 or 4 times watching it. And we've seen this 3 or 4 times in the last month, for fuck's sake. And oh, God. These guys had a good match. They probably went out there and had nearly as good a match as they did at No Way Out. There's some pretty good spots in there. You know, Sheamus had his traditional Breakfast Club moment. Oh, I'm going to get kicked in the knee, and then I'm going to bro kick with the knee that I was supposed to sell.
The only difference with this match is the title on the line, and it was an okay match, but the fact that... I know they're building towards Money in the Bank here. Yeah. This is not for the title. Couldn't Ziggler got another cheapish win here, and then actually bragged about it leading up towards Money in the Bank instead of giving Sheamus the win, who doesn't really need it at this moment in time. Or
maybe have Del Rio come and interfere if he's going to be the next #1 contender. I'm just saying, you know, I know it's only the first show after No Way, but it would be nice to get some Money in the Bank build of some kind, announce some kind of main event or something, just so we can look forward to Money in the Bank other than the Money in the Bank ladder matches. And we only have 1 participant in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and that's a big show. I mean, come on. Your overall thoughts on this SmackDown, NJ?
There was quite a bit of segments in this that actually hyped up something like Brodus Clay and some of mine's going blank. Big Show or Otunga. They were teasing something there. The primetime players, and go on towards the main event, which is teasing probably another rematch or just something like that. So I think it did a good job teasing stuff, but it just did not keep me entertained throughout the show. See, Mick Foley was good, but he didn't really do a lot. So I just don't think this was the best SmackDown.
Okay, Metallica for the win, by the way. But I think the show this week was a lot better structured than previous shows. There was less squash matches. Segments actually got some time. A lot more segments had meaning on this SmackDown, which was quite good. The opener I did find intriguing. The main event has been done so many times now, but there were some segments, at least here in this show, that I was entertained by. SmackDown as a whole isn't the most entertaining show, as it's just pretty much raw filler, but they did at least make a better effort of structuring the TV show and giving it a better flow this week, which is what I enjoyed about SmackDown. I think this has probably been the best SmackDown in quite some time, in my opinion, so I'll give it this week a B-. I was entertained by some of the stuff on SmackDown this week. Not all of it, but some of it. It was a pretty decent show, in my opinion.
Yes, so now you've heard the words from Mr. Parkin sitting right here, and me, NJ, and all I've said is, oh, you didn't know? We're the British Fist. Until next time, people, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.